Live. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another After Pill live stream. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. Listen, my hands are full. I got a lot going on, from working my regular 9 to 5 to doing my YouTube, to setting up some online businesses, right, and getting ready to make a big move, right. And if you're on my Patreon, if you're a YouTube member, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say big move, right. I gave away that information in the YouTube memberships and the Patreon. So if you're in the Patreon and if you're a YouTube member, you're definitely tracking. You know what I'm talking about. You're keeping up. JC checking in after a fat minute. What's going on, JC? I really haven't been live in about 3 weeks, so it's been a decent minute since I've even been on here. But what's about to happen is uh all of my live streams, I'm gonna go live from the After Pill 2.0 channel. So if you're not subscribed to that channel yet, go ahead and subscribe to that channel. That's the After Pill 2.0. So we got around 300, 400 or so subscribers in there. Corey, what's going on? We have 300, 400 subscribers. Let's get that channel to 1,000 subs, right? So I'm gonna be going live from over there, and over here is gonna be all my main stuff, all my main channel stuff. But my live streams gonna be separate on a separate channel, right? So we got to get the lives. We got to get the lives going back again. We got to get the consistent lives going back again. What's going on with y'all? How's y'all's what's the day? Thursday. How's y'all Thursdays going? Right? Today is my day off. So I'm just chilling. It's pretty decent outside, right? Warmed up a bit after a cold front, right? So I'm loving the weather. I don't really like the cold weather like that, especially here in Texas, where it's either one or two things. Either it's extremely hot or it's extremely cold, right? So we're gonna get some more people back in here. We 2 minutes in. So if y'all read the title, y'all have a clue about what's going on. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So the title of this live stream, we're going to be talking about how to survive the global reset. If you notice, see, the After Pill, the PFP movement, the escape blueprint, it is not about just getting rich, right? It's not about getting rich. It's about positioning yourself, right? Attaching yourself to a framework that's going to put you in a position to be successful, right, in the new world, because the world is changing. The world is changing fast, and as y'all can see, listen, first of all, let's go ahead and get started. We got 18 people in here. We 3 minutes in, so if everybody else late to church, they late to church, right? So first and foremost, let's get this all the way understood. The United States is in a bad position right now, right? I know you're looking at the news and you're seeing all the posturing with Venezuela. You're seeing all the posturing with, everybody else across the 7 seas. You're seeing all this posturing, but this posturing language is really just a losing language. America's running out of money. America's running out of resources. So at this point in time, America is using the last ditch effort, right? Let's go ahead and put on the moderations, because idiots starting to come in. And this is also why America is losing as well, because you have too many men who are just losers, absolutely losers, don't take anything serious, right? How to put on these moderations. A bunch of loser men in society, right? Who don't know how to take anything serious, who can't digest serious messages, right? Always looking to laugh and all of that shit. Just get out of here. That's another reason, right? But America's in a losing position, and The only thing we have left is to strong arm people, right? As you can see, we're strong arming anybody we can. America's posturing because the last ditch effort, right? The last thing to utilize is our military. We have one of the strongest militaries in the world, more efficient militaries in the world. We have some of the most advanced weaponry in the world. So that essentially leads to all the, the structure and all the funnels that we have in the world right now, right? Because we have the strongest military in the world and we can strong arm anybody we want to, first and foremost. But as we all know, if you've ever studied history, if you ever picked up a book, right? If you ever read on any empire throughout history, no empire lasts. The British Empire didn't last. The Roman Empire didn't last, right? The German Empire didn't last, right? The Soviet Union did not last. I mean, we can go on and on. The Chinese Empire did not last, right? We can go on and on. The Egyptian Empire did not last, right? New money, what's going on? Driver Brown, what's going on? Right? None of these kingdoms, none of these dynasties actually lasted, right? At some point they fell. They didn't disappear. They didn't disappear from the face of the earth. These land masses are still here. However, right, their rule, went away. So I have a few points. I have a few points for you guys who, want to make it out. You're paying attention, you're seeing what's going on, right? And you're seeing the writing on the wall, but maybe you don't know exactly how to do it, where to go, where to look, or you just need somebody to direct you, right? And I'm the After Pill. Welcome, right? This is the After Pill. This is the Escape Blueprint. I'm leading you to PFP, purpose, freedom, and power. So how to survive the global reset, because that's what's happening right now, right? Global relationships are shifting as we just discovered. So United States just released a let's actually look it up right now, because I want to say it. I want to name it word for word. The United States security, was it the security plan? Was it the security plan? I believe. Let's see. National Security Strategy. That's what it is. So United States just released its national security strategy, right? So within that strategy, without, saying it word for word, United States is redoing its relationships across the world. And one of the main relationships that United States had is with Europe, right? That was a key relationship that we had, and other key significant relationships that we had that is listed in there. But they plan on backing away from Europe. United States is backing away from Europe and redesigning, right, their power structure in the world. So let me put that in layman's terms for you guys who may not understand. So what the United States is doing is they realize that their tentacles cannot stretch all over the world anymore, right? They realize United States is actually backed into a corner, right? I know you guys, you think America's just the center of the universe, right? But it is not. America's backed up into a corner, so America has to choose, right? Are we going to continue to focus on Europe and align ourselves with Europe? Are we going to continue to focus on being the world police? Are we going to continue to focus on these things that does not benefit us at all anymore, right? So they're realigning themselves, right? They're redoing their power structure. So the national security strategy, now they're focusing more on the Americas, right? Which is south of the border, right? South America, right? The Caribbean, Southeast Asia. So we're talking about places like Taiwan, right? So that's what they're attempting to do. We don't know if it'll actually succeed, but that's what they're attempting to do. United States is attempting to hold on to the very little power that they have left, right? So they're trying to secure new power, right, before the total power shift actually happens, right? So just food for thought for you ninjas who don't know, right? Or for you ninjas who care, some of y'all don't care. That's the reason why you're gonna lose, right? So, how to survive the global reset, right? And this live stream is for the winners, not for the losers, right? So, you need to become digital by any means necessary, right? You need to become digital by any means necessary. And what I mean is what I said, right? Everything is moving digitally, right? Even when you walk into McDonald's, you don't really see a person taking your order anymore, right? Maybe in an old neighborhood or something, but as far as what I've seen, all the new McDonald's, right? When you walk in, there's kiosks. There's not any front desk people anymore. So you walk in and you order on a screen. The only people that you may see is honestly in a drive-through. That is it. So we're moving into a digital universe, right? The traditional 9-to-5 system, that shit is dying, right? Especially in America. Most of the, and then too, in a new world, in a developed world, like a lot of those laborious jobs, right? They've moved overseas. That shit is done, right? Why would they pay your lazy expensive ass? Why would they pay you $20 an hour, $21 an hour, $22 an hour when they can move their base to China and pay them $3? And then they'll get more work out of them. So you got to understand, those warehouses are long gone. They're not coming back. And then two, even those, they're making those more efficient as well with digitalization and robotics and AI and everything. So many warehouses, and I've seen this years ago. I worked at Amazon for like a season, and they already had a fully functional and this had to be 5-6 years ago. They already had a fully functional warehouse. It was like a mini warehouse. This was in Georgia. They had a mini warehouse where the whole thing was automatic. It was just straight automation. That was it. Straight automation, right? You had people in there to maybe do some repairs, maybe mop the floor or something. But even those people are going away, right? So you need to be thinking, how are you going to position yourself? Because most of you're not even working a high-end job in the first place, right? So definitely, if you're working an entry-level job, you might as well just count yourself out right now. If you're working an entry-level job, your ass is grass, right? I don't even know, like, listen, I'm going to repeat that one more time. If you're working an entry-level job in 2025, now I'm not talking about you guys who fresh out of high school. I get it. I'm not talking about guys who are, fresh out of college, but I mean, the same goes for you still, right? Because one, you're competing for entry-level jobs with 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds, right? That's who you're competing with. So you're competing with retirees who have to come back into work, right? You're competing with everybody. So you're not just competing with your peers. You're competing with old man Jenkins, right? You're competing with Sarah, right? You're competing with everybody. So entry-level jobs are pretty much dead anyway, right? And if you're working them, listen, they're about to push you out anyway, right? My company is pushing out entry-level people as well, right? So all that they're going to be left is specialized positions, right? So you need to be thinking, this is the time to be thinking. This is the time to be thinking about, what do I like to do? What am I good at? What can I monetize online, right? And I wouldn't even be quick to say, oh, just be a YouTuber. No, this YouTube shit is not for everybody, right? It took me 2 years. It took me 2 years just to build up from 0 to almost 10,000 subs right now. It took me 2 years to do that. And that first year, right, you barely seeing growth. So YouTube is not for everybody. Everybody can't sit up on his camera and talk efficiently, right? Just have a straight stream of thought, right? Comfortable on camera. It's not for everybody. So I wouldn't even be quick to say, oh, just make a YouTube channel. No, because you got people who been doing YouTube for years and they still ain't gotten nowhere, right? Sometimes people can hop on YouTube and they can blow up within a year. It happens, but that's not the majority. Most people, if you look at most YouTubers, some of the biggest YouTubers, they've had their YouTube channels for the past 10 to 15 years. And many of them, they didn't blow up until that 10th year, to their 8th year, right? Or their 5th year, 6th year. They didn't blow up just like that. So I'm only 2 years in. So I got about 4 more years to put in before I really start evaluating where I'm at. But I'm doing pretty damn good. I'm doing pretty damn skippy, right? To only have been doing YouTube for 2 years, right? So I wouldn't even be quick to say just hop on YouTube. No, you need to be thinking in terms of business, right? You need to be thinking in terms of pain points, right? What is the pain of most people today? And can I supply something for that pain, right? Because everybody's in pain for something, right? Not just physical pain, emotional pain, psychological pain. How can you come into that, right? And basically give them the solution, right? JC says, don't forget to mention everything is technically patched in the matrix. There's nothing you'll try that others have not. The good thing is if you stick it out long enough, you may succeed. I wouldn't say that. That's not necessarily true, because if that were the case, then we wouldn't see basically multi-million-dollar and billion-dollar companies that pop up like every 2 years, right? No company has ever done what Amazon is doing. No company has ever did what Amazon is doing, right? There's no company that existed like Walmart. There's no company that existed like Planeteer. There's no company that exists like what's another one? Tesla, right? Many have attempted. Many scientists may have attempted, but you know, I get what you're saying. But I get it. It took AP a fat minute to succeed on YouTube. Not dogging it. I'm just saying consistency is key. Consistency is definitely key, right? Just imagine if I stopped showing up. Once upon a time, I was only getting like 50 views, right? Before that, I was only getting like 3 views, 4 views. Why would in your right mind would you just keep on filming yourself and throwing it on YouTube and you only getting 3 views? But it was the gradual success, and it was the belief in myself and the consistency and, you know, just continuing to do it and master my craft, right? I couldn't always speak as thoroughly as I do right now on camera, right? I had to chop up my videos because I would lose train of thought, right? I would have to cut up my videos because I would have to turn the camera off and then, okay, what was I saying? Where was I trying to go with that? Right. And I was doing that with 5-minute videos. Right. Now I get on camera, I can talk for a whole hour, 2 hours straight, just like that. My regular videos, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I can get on there and talk just like that. But it's because it was the consistency, and with the consistency came the mastering of my craft and me continuously, you know, updating my skills on becoming a great orator, right? So YouTube is not for everybody, but business is for everybody. Everything that you do is business, right? When you have to apply for a job, right? You have to submit your resume. You have to update your resume, make sure it's nice and clean and, you know, proficient and efficient, right? When they look at it, right? Well written, readable, right? And you got to present yourself. You are the product when you walk into an employer, when you walk into an establishment. Many people say, oh, business is not for me and blah, 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 blah. Yes, business is for you. Drew Buzz, what's going on? You're a business. You are the sale. You are the product that you're trying to sell to the employer to hire you, right? So use that same dynamic and bring it out to the real world. One, because y'all have no choice. I'm telling y'all right now, right? There's no more, oh, business is not for me. Okay, then be homeless. I haven't watched, hold on, don't tell me nothing, Blaze. I gotta watch it tonight. I'm gonna watch it tonight. I gotta watch it tonight. I've been holding off. I'm gonna watch it tonight. But somebody else had asked me about the Diddy documentary. I gotta watch it. But if you're not going to get into business, you're going to be homeless. Right? If you're not getting into business, you're going to be homeless. And I'm not talking about brick and mortar. Brick and mortar is dead. Right? Brick and mortar is just a show. Right? You need to become digital. Right? I don't care how you do it. If you got to come up with 20,000 and you want to throw 5,000 in some crypto, right? Listen, trading, right? Online businesses, B2B businesses, like you have, and I'm only going to present this in a Patreon, but if you're a YouTube member, you knew about this when I presented it. But there's an app that I'm playing around with, right? There's an app that I'm playing around with right now. It's an AI app developer, right? So all I have to do is tell it exactly how I want the app to react, how exactly I want the app to operate, right? What I want the app to do. And then it creates the whole app, and I can continue to customize it just from stream of thought, right? That's what I'm doing right now. If you're not a member, if you're not on the Patreon, then you're out of the loop. So if you want to be in the loop, join the Patreon, right? This link is in the description, and become a YouTube member, right? So you can see what's going on. But I'm in the process of creating an app, right? I'm in the process of creating an app that I believe will be highly profitable and highly marketable, right? I haven't seen an app like this before, right? And then everything what's going on right now, I'm positioning myself to put myself in the middle of what I believe will be an exodus, a mass exodus, right, of people with means and people with, basically say so, or motion, like the young kids will say, like people with motion, right, who are spreading themselves out into the rest of the world, right? So I'm gonna do several more videos on that, right? And I'll be filming my process on that as well. But I'm in the process of developing an app myself. So there's many different ways you can. It's literally no excuse anymore. There's literally no excuse. You can get on the internet, right? Of course, you'll have to pay a monthly subscription. Some of these subscriptions are expensive, right? But you got to pay the cost to be a boss. Everything ain't free, you free ass ninjas. Everything is not free, right? Sometimes you may have to pay $100 a month to operate on this AI app developer, but you got to realize they're doing most of the work. You can get on here and just type in a sentence, make me an app that shows, right, all houses that are worth 300,000, right? Boom. It'll make it right there. And then, yeah, it's not completely perfect. There's going to be some errors, but then it'll show you exactly. Listen, it's mind boggling. So like I tell you all the time, the opportunities are there, right? The window is still open, but the big question mark is people, right? Are people, especially Americans, are they smart enough to take advantage of the window of opportunity, or will they just get sucked up into the nonsense that's going on, right? Because let me tell y'all something. Everything that's going on is a distraction, right? Just like COVID. Just like COVID. What they're doing, money is, listen, man, whenever y'all see mass distraction, within distraction, there's, what's that word? What's the word I'm looking for? Dang, somebody has said it. Within distraction is, it's on the tip of my tongue, right? Pause, no Diddy, right? But just know, when there's mass distraction, there's money moving. When there's mass distraction, powers are moving. When there's mass distraction, people are sucking up money, right? But the general population wouldn't realize that, because the general population are too busy fighting amongst themselves. They're fighting, you fighting for the scraps. I don't want the scraps, baby. Listen, I don't want the scraps. I don't want the scraps at all. I want everything, right? Listen, I have a top tier mindset, and I will practice that by any means necessary. I will get that by any means necessary. I have to. It's in my blood. See, some of you come from weak bloodlines, right? Some of you come from peasant bloodlines, right? Your DNA is weak. Your mindset is weak, right? You're physically weak. That's what you come from. But not saying that that's what you're destined to, but you got to break out of that. I believe in epigenetics, but that's a whole different topic for a different day, right? My next point. So, like I said, you need to become digital, right? Your businesses need to become digital. You need to become digital, right? You need to vanish within thin air, right? You need to become essentially nomadic. You need to become omnipresent, essentially. You need to become godlike. You need to be everywhere. That's the only way you're going to survive in a new world. Now, if you don't want to survive, then this live stream is not for you, right? If you want to go down in flames, right, with the peasants, right, with the idiots, with the people who think that the world in 2025 operate like 1999, then you're up for a rude awakening. My second point, you need to have more than one passport. You need to have more than one passport. I will be releasing on my Patreon the easiest countries to get citizenship, and I will be releasing the easiest countries, right? If you're just trying to get a quick escape, if you're just trying to get, your foot in the door, I will be releasing on the Patreon only, not the YouTube members, but the Patreon only, right? The list of countries that you can get and the processes of getting these passports. So basically from the application process all the way to residency to citizenship. That's what I will be releasing on Patreon. So if you're not in a Patreon, if you're not signed up to the Escape Blueprint, you're out of the loop, right? So there's countries that are easier than others, right? Some require investment, right? So some may require that you buy property that's worth a certain amount, right? Maybe $200,000, right? Some may require that you have a business. Some may require that that you show funds, that you have a job, or that you are remote, or that basically that you're bringing in funds from somewhere that they can track. Right. So countries have different laws, different ordinances that regulate that. Right. But ultimately, you need to become omnipresent. Like I just said, you need to own more than one passport, especially if you're an American. Right. Forget everything that they're talking about in the news. That really doesn't matter. Honestly, you need to be seeking out how to get a different passport, how to gain residency in another country, how to do business in another country, because this is how elites think. This is how elite men think, right? Listen, your most powerful people, your most strategic people, your most business-oriented men, they have overseas accounts, right? You just don't have an overseas account just because. No, you have overseas accounts because you're either a resident or a citizen, right? Why do you think a lot of these multimillionaires, business personnel, right? They have accounts that are not tracked, right? They have elite bank accounts that are not tracked, that can't be tracked by the United States. They own crypto. That can't be tracked. They own several different accounts in many different places, right? So you have to be looking at it as, how do I become more strategic in a new world? Because here's the thing, right? And this is one of my points as well. Many of you may agree, many of you may not agree with this, but regardless of if you agree or not, it's the wholehearted truth. You can be proud of your country, right? I love America. I served in the military, right? I love America for what it definitely could be, but I have enough logical sense to understand that it's moving in a direction that may not benefit me in the future, right? I love America. I love the freedoms that we have, right? I don't too much like the people. That they cool and all, but I love America for what it stands for, right? On paper, right? And what it could be, maybe in the future, maybe it'll never be that. But like I just said, moving into the future, I understand that America may not be in my best interest moving forward. Right. So what am I going to do? Sit here just because I love America? Right. I'm so patriotic that I will never leave my country all the way to its detriment. No, that's a fool's game. Right. That's a fool's game. That's a peasant game. Why would I play that kind of game? Right. The world is big, the world is vast, and I am meant to walk on God's green earth wherever it may be. Why the hell would I stick to one place? Why would I subject myself to one place that may not even benefit me in the future? Right? So you have to have maneuverability just like the wind, right? You have to bounce around with the chaos. Right now, we're in chaotic times, and the world is moving very fast. And if you don't catch on quick, your ass gonna get left behind. I told y'all this 2 years ago. I told y'all this 2 years ago. I told y'all what was coming. I told y'all the global dynamic was changing. I told y'all the world powers were changing. As you can see, now the United States is focusing on regional power. Don't y'all get it? Y'all think that the United States is like the big bad wolf, right? To many countries they are, but in hindsight, they realize that they cannot be the world police anymore. They realize that their powers are stretched thin. So now what the United States is doing, they're retreating. But y'all are so stupid. Y'all are so small-minded. Y'all can't see what exactly is going on. The United States is retreating. Not gaining more power. No, they're retreating and releasing power because they don't have the resources like they used to maximize power. So now they're focusing on regional issues, which South America, Venezuela, right? That's why they're trying to strong arm Venezuela, right? And not saying that Venezuela is just a saint or anything, but the United States is strong arming Venezuela. Right? It's just like punching somebody to let everybody know in the yard that the big dog is in town. That's what they're doing. They're focusing on more on regional, right? Which will be Mexico, Canada, the South Americas, right? Central Americas, right? And allies in the Pacific, Southeast, right? Taiwan, maybe Japan, I don't know, right? But get that second passport, become digital. And where was I going with that? Patriotism. Patriotism is a product that is sold to the peasants. Right? Just pay attention. Pay attention to the most patriotic people, right? And not, like I said, not saying that you can't love your country. I just gave a perfect example on why I love my country and, so on and so forth. But I'm not an idiot. I'm not a fool. I'll be a fool to play the patriotic game, right? To my detriment, to my family's detriment? Hell no, right? So I have to become maneuverable like the wind. I have to blow when the wind blow. I have to move when the wind blow. So patriotism is for peasants, right? Y'all can take that to offense all you want to, but it's the truth, right? People will be so patriotic to the point where they lose all logic and reasoning, right? As we're seeing in the United States of America right now, right this second. People are so patriotic that they can't see that the powers that be are absolutely fucking them in the ass. The powers that be are fucking the patriots, right? And then let's not even talk about the veterans. The veterans have been getting mistreated since dang on the world wars. America ain't never cared about the veterans, but everybody want to be patriotic. So y'all can be patriotic to y'all detriment, right? I'm not going to be patriotic to my detriment, right? I have no loyalty to anybody. Then especially me as a young black man. Listen, I don't owe America jack shit, and America don't owe me shit, as they have told me many times, right? As they have told me many times. So I don't owe America jack shit, and you don't owe America jack shit either. Yeah, I was born in America. Thank God I was born in America. Like I said, I love it. I love it. I love the benefits that come with America. I love that I was born in America and not damn Tanzania or some shit. I love that I was born in America and not Colombia. I'm grateful that I was born in America and not damn South Africa somewhere. I'm grateful. Best believe it. Best believe it. But I don't owe America nothing. I don't owe America any loyalty. Right? Why? So they can take advantage of my loyalty. What? And ship jobs overseas? Right? Use my tax money, my tax dollars to fund wars that I don't agree with? Right? So other people who are not willing to work as hard as I am can live off the system, live off government assistance, right? While I'm busting my ass 10, 11 hours a damn day. And they using my tax money, and every time I drive down the road, the damn highways got potholes and the roads got potholes, right? Busting my tires, right? So they can bring in a million and one damn immigrants, right? That show no respect to the people who paved the way for them. No, hell no. I don't owe America jack shit. I don't owe America a damn thing. If anything, America owe me shit. So like I said, patriotism is a poor man's game. Patriotism is a poor man's game. You can love your country, but don't be no fool. MSK, what's going on? You can be a patriot, but don't be no fool. You have many patriots who have moved themselves overseas. Right? That's hence the word expatriate. Right? Which is actually in a constitution, I believe. Right? I think it's actually called the Expatriate Act, if I'm not mistaken. Right? But expatriates, they've been moving overseas since the early world wars. This has been a thing. You have many soldiers who fought in World War I, World War II. They never left Germany. Right? They stayed in Germany. They never left France. They never left these areas. Right? Some during the Vietnam War, you had many soldiers stay in Vietnam. Right? So this has been going on. Right? Especially then if you're talking about African-American soldiers. Right? African-American soldiers, how they were done after the world wars. You had guys who came back, were killed because they wore the uniform, right? That they came back with the uniform on because they were proud to serve and protect the country that didn't give a fuck about them in that time period anyway, right? Some of those guys just stayed where they were. They were treated better. They were treated better in Germany, huh? They were treated better in Germany than they were in the United States. Some of those ninjas was like, hell, why would I'm going to go back to Jim Crow? I'm going to go back to segregation. I'm going to stay my black ass in Germany. Hell, the snow bunnies love me over here. They trying to hang me back home. So, listen, many people have many different reasons, but don't be a patriot to your detriment. Right? Don't be a patriot to your detriment. Right? Because the ones with the money have no loyalty. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. The ones with the money, the ones who are making shit move, the ones who were making power moves, they have no loyalty to a country. They're loyal to power. They're loyal to money. Peasants are loyal to countries. That's how you get large portions of peasants to fight wars for you. Right? Patriotism. It's a product. Right? Not because people actually believe in patriotism, not in a new world. Not because people actually believe in patriotism, not because the elites are patriots. Donald Trump isn't a patriot. Sleepy Joe isn't a patriot. None of these elites are patriots. None of these politicians are patriots, right? They're just filling their pockets and making sure that they fill their family pockets, right? They're buying houses. They're buying houses in Moscow, Moscow. If that's how you pronounce it, Moscow, Russia. They're buying property in Barcelona, right? They're buying land in the Himalayas. They don't give a fuck about the normal everyday American and y'all patriots. Your patriot mindset, they give a damn about that. Right? And what else? What else? I think those are all of my points right there. Those are all of my points. That's how you basically survive the global reset. You have to become digital, right? You have to become digital, and you have to learn the online business game. That's how you're going to survive, right? 46 MD says more doom and gloom. Okay. You must be late. I'm telling people how to literally thrive in the global power dynamic change, but that's doom and gloom. Okay. So what you want me to tell them? That the sun is shining and there's rainbows and leprechauns at the end of the fucking rainbow? Get the fuck out of here. That's what you want me to tell people? See, men, while I got time, because I got time. See, men want to be sold a dream just like these bitches. Right? Men want to be sold a dream just like these hoes. Right? Y'all want to be sold a dream. Right? You want to be lied to. You want to be told that everything is okay. Right? You want to be told, you want to be told, I'm not smashing nobody. Knowing damn well cheeks getting bust. Right? Yeah, and this is what's wrong. See, here's my last point, and this feeds into that, right? More doom and gloom, right? This is my honest to God opinion, and this from observing people, this from seeing and understanding what's going on. The general population are idiots. And you know what? I don't even have a problem with people who are able to rise to power and people who are able to rise to financial dominance. I have no issue with them wanting to control the general population. Because when I look around and I see these fat sloppalapas, when I look around and you got people like 46 MD, more doom and gloom, right? I'm assuming that is a man, right? You have men talking about some, more doom and gloom, as if the world is sunshine and rainbows, right? As if the world is fucking frosted flakes or something, right? You got men walking around here wanting to be sold a dream, wanting to be sold a lie, and that's hence why I said that patriotism is something that is sold to the peasants, because it is hope. It is hope that your country do well by you. It is hope that your country takes care of you. That's all hope. Hope. And don't nothing good come from no goddamn hope. Right? This man shit over here. This man talk right here. This is somebody who's seeing a writing on the wall and actually, right, making the moves, right? Actually making the moves to combat what's going on. So I have no problem at all with people rising to financial prominence, rising to political prominence, right? As long as they're not harming people in a major way, I guess, right? And dominating the general population, because the general population are weak, right? And the general population are a bunch of dim-witted weasels, right? 46 MD says it's not your country's job to take care of you. In some ways it is. In some ways it is. It is, right? I think you need to open up a book, right? I think you need to open up a book and learn how shit work. And then the country, many countries don't even have a choice. America don't have a damn choice, right? I mean, not saying that they're going to do it anyway, but you got a country full of babies. People can't even wipe their damn ass. Don't even know what tissue is. All right, get this nigga up out of here. You're not even, if you're gonna keep commenting, at least donate. Get the fuck up out of here. You're not contributing to the conversation. You're just repeating yourself. See, I hate going back and forth with people. You're gonna keep saying the same thing? Say something different, motherfucker. Yes, it's not your country. It's not your country's job to take care of you. but it's your country's job to look after the best interest of the people. You dim-witted idiot. And this is exactly why I say that most people deserve to be like controlled. Most of y'all deserve to be controlled. You're idiots. Most people are idiots, and maybe that's my elitism talking, but whatever the fuck. I don't give a damn. Because people need to hear the truth at this point in time. Right? Americans think they're just so great, right? Many of you mofos don't even know what the Constitution is. Many of you mofos can't even name and say one constitutional amendment. Most of you don't even know who were key players in the civil rights movement. Most of you don't even know the city that JFK was assassinated at. Like, Americans don't know anything. They don't know how any of this works. Many people blindly support politicians because they're ignorant. They're idiots. They don't know how global supply chains works. They're idiots. United Americans don't know anything. Right? And we're supposed to be what? The major player in the game? No, not the citizens. Not the citizens. Now the elites, the powers that be, now they know what's going on. Right? But they feed you the pigeon food because that's all you're gonna do is eat it up. Right? You're just gonna follow their commands, right? They upload a code to social media, run their propaganda, because you're too idiotic to think, because you're all doped up on a sugar that's in those Coca-Colas. You doped up on the yellow 5 and the red 40s, right? That out of those Skittle packs that you're eating, right? Disrupting your chemical balance and your brain and your hormonal balance. That's turning many of you men into bitches, right? But that's too deep for y'all. That's way too deep. Some of this shit that, man, listen. I don't even say everything that I know. I don't even say everything that I could say, because some of this stuff is just it goes so far over y'all head. It go way over y'all head. This is the type of shit that I'm gonna start putting on the Patreon. So if you're not a Patreon member, go ahead and sign up. Right? Support the channel, support the movement, support the Escape Blueprint, support the After Pill, support the PFP movement. Purpose, freedom, and power. Right? This is not a get rich scheme. This is not how to get rich. This is how to build sovereignty in an ever-changing world. Right? Because many of y'all gonna get left behind. It just is what it is. You can't save everybody, right? Everybody can't digest the knowledge anyway. Right? MSK says you have to become international, right? And you should have capitalized have to. Right? It's not a lowercase have to. No, you must become international. You must become international. That's the only way to survive. Right? Like, sure, you can get by. You can get by, but let me tell y'all something. The money is drying up in America. Right? I hate when people park right next to me. Like, why the fuck they parking next to me? Right? The money is drying up. Right? The money is drying up. The banks know this. The elites know this. People with common sense know this. Chadwick 88. If you're not a member, if you're not a YouTube member, if you're not a Patreon member, you may not. I've already put this out there. So become a Patreon member, become a YouTube member. Right? That video is already released on what I was doing and my process already. Right? So I'm not looking to be some passport bro. I'm not looking to be some regular expat. No, I'm looking to dominate wherever I go. Because guess what? Thank God for the USD. Thank God for the USD. Right? Thank God for the USD. Because I'm going to take that USD, right? And dominate with the capital D. Right? You have to know what leverage you have. So listen, even if you work at Wally World, for you Wally World working as ninjas, even if you work at Jiffy Lube, right? You making $25,000, $30,000 a year, right? Still you making that little income, which is little in America, but that is something that people are not even making in most countries around the world, right? You're still in the top 15, 20% of the world, right? Making $30,000 a year. So life is not over. This is what I had to realize, right? Right, and we coming up on an hour. This is what I had to realize when I first started traveling, right? The world is wide and vast, and the opportunities are endless. The opportunities are endless. It just doesn't stop with America. It doesn't stop with Venezuela. It doesn't stop with Canada. It doesn't stop with Mexico. Literally, the world is wide and vast. And you can do whatever it is you can put your mind to. Right? You can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. So I say all of that to say, listen, you need to figure out something. You need to figure out how to build your leverage. When I first started traveling, you can feel your mind expand, right? And I'm talking about in all aspects, right? I was just, and then I was just talking to somebody else about this yesterday, right? We were talking about women, and like, I was just telling him, like, dude, like, most of the women in America are mid. Most of the women in America are mid to below average. Many women in America are overweight. They barely cute, right? That's just what men are subjected to, right? And then the men ain't far off themselves. Many men are fat sloppaloppers too, so y'all don't get no pass either. But a lot of the women are just, right? Right? You have to go to like the major cities to really find like real beauty. And then still, that's only like what, LA, New York, Miami, Orlando, right? Atlanta, Houston, maybe Dallas, right? You still got to go to the major metropolises to find like beauty. And still, you're not going to run into it on a frequent basis, right? When I was in DR, bro, it was like clockwork. It was like clockwork. Every 3 girls were like, yeah, that's it. Every 3 girls, every 4 girls was like, every which way I turned, from the girls who working to the girls who, like, it's just like that, right? Colombia, same way. Many places in Eastern Europe, the same way, right? So that broadened my mind. Like, damn, like, there's more beautiful women than I thought, right? Because when you're subjected to your area, right, to your 15-mile radius, you think that, oh, this is all that's out here. So you got dudes who settle for fat sloppaloppers. You got dudes who settle for girls who disrespect them. You got dudes who settle for no good chicks. When there's a girl, there's a girl 3 hours on the plane ride. There's a girl 3 to 4 hours on the plane ride that'll give her life for you, ninja. That'll give her a life for you. I'm not by no means saying that women are just perfect when you go to another country, because that can be furthest from the truth. Trust me. But what I am saying, that you have women who are more in shape, take care of their body, right? Take care of themselves, who treat men like men, and who carry themselves like women, and who would literally lay down for you, as long as you're being the man that you're supposed to be. Now, I'm not talking about you loser, man. Now, if you were a loser in America, you're going to be a loser overseas, right? So don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about losers, you going over there and thinking that, oh, a woman is going to make you a man. No, a man makes a woman. Do you hear me? A woman doesn't make a man. A man makes the woman. Come on now. So if you wasn't a man already, don't think that you're just going to become a man when you drop down off that plane, right? Because a man is made. right? A man is built, should I say, right? So it expanded my mind like, damn, there's beautiful women everywhere, everywhere, right? And at a higher frequency than somewhere like America. America's, bro, I'm not even gonna lie, America's not even competing. On a beauty level, America's not even competing, bro. America's not competing. These hoes, bro, these hoes not even hitting on nothing. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Right? America only exists to make money. In 2025, America exists to only make money, right? And it's for the loser class, right? Mark my words. America is now for the loser class, right? Everybody else, they're milking money out of the loser class and building further in other countries. They're building further internationally, right? And yes, America's for sale. America's for sale. Corporations have bought in. That's why America will never like truly fail, but you will be left out of the equation. It will only be for the elites and the oligarchs, right? So when it comes to you will own nothing to be happy, that's just international elites. And American elites, they buy up all the property and then just rent it back to you because you can no longer afford it, right? Because they don't pay you a livable wage. They don't pay you any money to buy a home, to buy a property, to build a family. So they just buy it up for you and allow you to rent from it, right? So you can continue to go to work whatever jobs that is left, right? Or so they can roll out UBI. Come on, man. So I'm literally giving y'all the escape blueprint to become elite men. Now, it's up to you to do it because I'm not finna be stuck like Chuck. I'd be damned. I'm gonna be the ninja. I'm gonna be the ninja buying property back in the United States and renting it to you. Right? Y'all gotta understand how this works. Right? Take your feelings out of it. Take that loser mindset out of it. Well, why can't they just do right? Ninja, as long as you live and you have breath in your air, in your lungs, ain't nobody gonna do right by you. You gotta do right by yourself. Right? You got to have some kind of power for people to do right by you. And then still, you got to watch everybody. So I'm going to be the ninja buying up property and then renting it back to you. Because here's the thing. The game is the game. Right? You don't think you're about to come in here and reinvent the game, reinvent the wheel, make some kind of changes, right? You're going to change the world. Ain't nobody about to change the world. That's a hard, honest, cold, brutal truth. Ain't nobody about to change the world, right? There will have to be a mass consciousness change for the world to change from its current state, right? We've seen it before, right? It's happened many times in history, right? So not saying that it can't happen, but there has to be a mass awakening and a mass consciousness shift for it to happen. And until that happens, right, I'll be taking part of the very system, right? I'll be taking part of the very system that some may say, is at the general population's downfall. That's not my problem. That's not my problem. I didn't make the system. Hell, my parents didn't make the system. Hell, my grandparents didn't even make the system. The system is. So guess what I'm gonna do? The system is the current system is currently working for a select group of people, and the group of people who understand how the system works. So guess what I'm gonna do, ninja? I'm gonna take part in the system. So guess what that means? Yes, I'm gonna get a second passport. Yes, I'm gonna buy property overseas. Yes, I'm gonna be living somewhere so I can maximize my American USD. Right? Yes, I'm gonna continue to be paid in USD. Yes, when I move, I'm gonna be in the top 1% of people in the place that I move. So I'm gonna be living like an elite in the country that I'm moving to. Right? Yes, I'm gonna build connections in this said country. Yes, I'm gonna learn a language. Yes, I'm gonna master the language. Yes, I'm gonna master business. Yes, then I'm gonna buy some more. Then I'm gonna buy some more property in the United States and rent it to the peasants. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Because it is about the survival of the fittest, not survival of the weak. If you want to take it to biblical tense, the scripture said, the meek. The scripture said the meek will inherit the earth, not the weak. Ninja, come on now. It said the meek will inherit the earth, not the weak. Ninja. Come on now. I'm talking too much. But anyway, we at an hour mark. Make sure you sign up for the Patreon if y'all want these kind of videos. So if you weren't in here earlier, my live streams will now be on the After Pill 2.0 channel. So if you haven't subscribed to that channel, subscribe to that channel. But my live streams will be on the After Pill 2.0 channel, which is my second channel. We have about 300, 400 subs over there, something like that. If you haven't subscribed over there, go ahead and subscribe over there. Check out the Patreon, right? I'll be dropping more videos, more insider videos over there. Become a YouTube member if you just want to support the channel. Become a Storytime member. I'm telling some wild stories over there, some wild boy stories over there, right? Of my experiences with women, my experiences overseas, my experiences just throughout my life. If you want to hear that, if you want to sign up for that. But if you want more business oriented, if you want more structure oriented, if you want more framework oriented things, then you got to go over to the Patreon if you want to get that kind of information and knowledge. If you're not, if you weren't a Patreon member, I talked about a few days ago how I'm already talking to an attorney and some brokers, already getting some things situated, because when you make certain moves, right, you want to get attorneys involved. You don't want to be doing paperwork by yourself, right? There's some important documents that I actually have to get translated to another language, official documents like my birth certificate, my vaccine records, right, including my children as well. You have to get their official documents translated, and you want to do many of those things through official people, right? Because it is time consuming, and then it is, you know, like if there's a language barrier, you know, you got to deal with that too. So it's a lot. It's actually, it's not complicated, but it's not simple, right? But anyway, I'll be talking more about that on the Patreon. Shouts out to everybody that tuned into the live stream, right? Shouts out to y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.